Greetings. I'm DC Mayor candidate Rhonda Hamilton, and as I promised you, I'm going to come to you from time to time. Well, guys, hello, my dear social media, as well as my beautiful Washingtonians and DCites out there. I'm coming to you because coming off of this holiday weekend, there is so much still to be done, but if you notice, if you've been watching the feed, our signs have been going up. I'm so disheartened to find out that some of our community members are participating in criminal acts by removing the signs or vandalizing my signs already. My goodness. And I'm sure that you know better. So I want you to do better out there. Guys, we have got to stop tearing one another down. I'm running for office because I come from the community, and like so many of you out there, you want to see something better for your nation's capital and your Washington, D.C. Guys, I come from a D.C. of pride, and I will say it and keep saying it. As the mental health advocate, I want us to do better, so I am coming down to be a part of the solution. I would appreciate if you would help me. I know we have this thing in our community with trust and snitching and all these other understandings, but let's talk about that for a minute. Who's going to come into our community to help make them better if we don't do something to make them better? And I think that each one of us has to have a made-up mind that we no longer want our children to follow in the paths that we've had to come through and survive. I know that there are a select few of our community members, and maybe they're not from our communities, that are starting and causing trouble and havoc in our town. And we've got to be able to stand together to be able to say no more. Enough is enough. We've got to be everywhere where our tax dollars are being spent and where these decisions are being made. Aren't you tired of the press conferences talking about we living in a state of emergency and only to find out that more shootings are happening? And let's face it, we know what's going on out in our town long before it has to hit the news. So why aren't we talking it up? Why aren't we coming forward and banding together to set the example? These guns have to stop. This disregard, blatant disregard for the law must stop. If you're going to create a crime, then you have to be accountable for your actions. And if you don't have any other way of dealing with matters of conflict other than pulling a trigger, then we've got to help you get some help, right? It's not a laughing matter. Nobody wants to, I have to believe nobody wants to take a life unnecessarily. But I've got to figure out, and you've got to help me, guys. I'm running for mayor of our great city because I want our children to know. I want you to know that we can do anything we put our minds to. But this tearing one another down and causing each other havoc and harm, watching these acts of criminal intent happen in our communities and then say nothing as if we're powerless. Let's stop harboring criminals, period. Whether they're in our families or whether they come from our communities, it's not okay. Let's figure out a better way to help people pass their unhealthy periods of their living. I'm running for office because I want to raise awareness for the reality that the lopsided governing in our town must be addressed. Our matters of health, they matter. We should have economic powers and reach just as everyone else does, right? We should have medical doctors and understandings and comprehensive processes that are addressing our issues so that we don't have to be bogged down with so many drugs and prescriptions and things that are just not necessarily healthy for us. Guys, we can do this together. I'm Rhonda Hamilton. I was educated in Ward 8, raised in Ward 8. Currently, I live in Noma, Ward 6, and I have been very successful helping to rent and house many members from our homeless community. So I want you to know I'm just not talking about it. I've been trying to be about it. My beautiful mother and my beautiful father shed blood and lost lives in this street. And I want you all to know that enough is enough. It is time for us to do it together. If you see them out there messing with my signs or doing anything to disrupt the process that would allow democracy to come forward to bring about positive change in our dear city, say something. Take a picture and send it to me. I'll follow up and do the rest, because this blatant disregard for crime and the law has to stop. I'm Rhonda Hamilton. We've got matters to take care of on November the 8th, and we can't let a few community members mess it up for the whole. I'm running because I know your voice matters, our children matter, our health issues, our economic issues, mental health will always matter. And we've got to make sure that these decisions about our housing and our education, guys, I could just go on and on. There's so much that I'm busy in the background preparing for, because I want you guys to understand that relief and change is on the way. But we have to do this together. Keep an eye out there. Don't harbor criminals. Don't make excuses for them. You have a mayor candidate ready to go downtown so that we can create avenues and opportunities to get them some help. Keep talking it up out there. Keep being encouraging and keep empowering one another to know that we will come out of this. The guns will stop and we will hold the necessary folks accountable. But what we won't do is keep living in these revolving door understandings and being depressed in our communities because nothing's changing for the better. I urge you to come back to the table, pay attention, hold me accountable, hold us all accountable. But don't stay quiet, and definitely don't stay home. You're going to be voting early soon. I'm Rhonda Hamilton. Please check out my platform before you make your decision. Rhonda Hamilton, the number 4, DCMayor.com. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you all.